The Book of Soyga. D. Is my Book of Soyga of any excellency? Uriel. That book was revealed to Adam in paradise by God's good angels. Do. My great and long desire hath been to be able to read those tables of Soyga. Even before D met Kelly, he was immersed in the study of a magical treatise written in Latin called ryvre Soyga, Tractate Astrologico Magicus, or, more simply, the Book of Soyga. We know that D was intrigued by the Book of Soyga because his diary records that it was the subject of one of the very first questions he asked of the Archangel Uriel during Edward Kelly's inaugural scrying session on March 10, 1582. In later diary entries he laments that he has misplaced his Book of Soyga, and still later entries indicate that he eventually found it. The book is an anonymous, late medieval grimoire of planetary, angelic, and demonic magic that is in many ways not too dissimilar from other magical treatises of the period. However, there are several things that distinguish Soyga, things that obviously made it particularly attractive to D. Perhaps most intriguing to D were the last 18 leaves of Soyga. These pages contain 36 tables, each comprising a grid of 1,296 squares, arranged in 36 x 36 grids. Each of the table's 1,296 squares is filled with a Latin letter. Together the tables could form a cube comprising 46,656 squares. Each of the 36 tables is identified by an astrological or elemental symbol. The first 24 are attributed to signs of the zodiac, the next 7 to the planets, the next 4 to the elements, and 1 simply to magistry. For our purposes, I impress upon the reader's mind the profound importance of alphanumeric and how much information can be encoded within a grid of a magic table. Figure 1. A simple alphanumeric magic table. This table is made up of 9 squares. Each square contains one of 9 letters, and these letters can be considered by themselves, or in combination with the others, to spell magical words. For example, in this particular table, C not only represents the letter C but also the number 3, and all things 3-ish. What do I mean by 3-ish? One very big example is all things in the universe that exist in time and have movement, and all things that have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Like DNA, alphanumeric squares carry an unimaginably vast amount of information in a deceptively small package. As a resident of our 3x3 table, the C square also carries information drawn from its position relative to the other letters and their correspondences. Can you begin to see how much information is contained in that one little square alone? Imagine, then, the mass of complex data that could be tightly stored in a 36 x 36 x 36 square cube represented by the Book of Soyga. I've discovered no evidence of a direct connection between the Book of Soyga and any of the magical workings that led ultimately to the reception of Enochian magic. We know D held the Book of Soyga in high regard and was particularly preoccupied with learning the secrets of the 36 tables. The magical process of the Book of Soyga would become the modus operandi by which the spirits would ultimately communicate the secrets of Enochian magic to D and Kelly. This world is the end product of a progression of cosmic events that physicists believe began with an immeasurably dense singularity that burst open and set into motion the phases of creation. The immensely packed assembly of 36 x 36 alphanumeric squares found in the Book of Soyga is a crude but appropriate model for such a singularity. The Book of Soyga did not play a direct role in the magical operations of Dee and Kelly, but the patterns and formulae it embodied would remain the methodology of their angelic communications until the end of their association. I believe that the two magicians, by taking part in this incremental process of creation, became personally attuned to the magical universe as it presently exists, and thus prepared themselves to receive and engage in Enochian magic. In the lessons that follow, I will present only the briefest snapshots of the step-by-step process that I believe was the attunement program that prepared Dee and Kelly to receive the Enochian magic system.